Hello, and thank you for joining me. My name is JD. I am so happy that you are here and joining me. If this is your first time, welcome. On this channel, we do a lot of meditations. In fact, I am working this year and hopefully into next year with Dr. Nepal. 2 new meditations should be out very soon. In fact, I'm going to be recording some of them tonight. And I also do crystal bowl meditations, guided meditations, all sorts of meditations. And if you go back into, I think, last year's videos, there are there's a series called My Daily Bliss, and every one of those has a mini, about 5 to 10 minute meditation. I think some of them go up to 15 minutes. But they're worth a listen, especially if you're looking for a mini meditation. I also do readings here every week, and I do monthly readings for your element. So you can go take a look at those as well. Today, I am bringing you a free mini workshop. Those of you who've come into my office and had them live, or you've taken my online courses, thank you. And this one is a little thank you to all of you as you progress into the holiday season. And this is not just, the mainstream Western holidays. This is for any holiday, gathering, public event, any of you who are empathic, who struggle with these big groups and social situations. There are going to be tips and tools and guides to help you through this process. You may even want to take notes or listen to this again, because if you are an empath, and I will go into what an empath is in a few minutes, if you are an empath at all, I know that these social situations can be very overwhelming and sometimes very draining. And for some of you may even put you off to these public gatherings altogether, but then you kind of miss out on the fun. And I don't want you to miss out on the fun. There is no need to do that. So let me tell you a little bit about who I am and what I do and why I understand the plight of the empath. So since I was a very young child, have been hearing, seeing, feeling things that at the time I really couldn't explain, and I kind of thought was normal for everybody else. And it is normal, but a lot of you have grown out of it, which if you have, that's kind of a good thing. Again, I'll go into details later. So I am a medium. I speak to loved ones and angels and guides and pretty much anything on the other side. I do a lot of cleansing and healing work through Reiki and also through angelic and guided channeled energy. I do psychic readings, and I've been doing that for about 16 years. So I have been doing this for a very long time. And one of my first gifts that came through was clairsentience. Clairsentience is the gift of feeling. And this can be emotional, it can be physical, it can be spiritual. And that is kind of what defines an empath. You may also have seen one of my other videos on what is human design. And my personal human design is the projector. And projectors and reflectors are very well known for being empathic because we have a lot of open chakra centers. So, empath. What is an empath? An empath, you've all heard of the word empathy or empathic. Empathy is basically just feeling for somebody else. Now, most of you have a very keen sense of empathy. If somebody is hurting or sad, you will sympathize with them or you will understand what they're going through. An empath will feel it as if they are going through it themselves. So if I am sitting with a client who has an arthritic knee, my knee will start hurting. Sometimes it'll be the same knee, or sometimes it'll be a mirror image, but one of my knees will be acting up, and it could be a current injury, it could be a past injury. If somebody is happy and we're talking, and all of a sudden I get this overwhelming feeling of anger or sadness, it's usually because there's something underlying that they're trying to hide. And empaths are not trying to do this as a way of being invasive. we kind of have very little control over it, but I will give you some tips to control it, especially as you're going to head into the next 2 months into some pretty busy times. You know, whether it's New Year's Eve or Christmas or Hanukkah or Thanksgiving or any other holiday, and I could list them all, but this isn't just for holidays. This could be any party. There could be reunions, you know, any office gathering at all, work gathering, friends getting together. You know that there's drama and there's energy there that a lot of you are not going to want to pick up. You're going to have a good time, and that's your purpose for going. You're not necessarily going there to pick up on everybody else's garbage. Now, let's continue with what is an empath. So as an empath, I personally connect through my heart chakra and my solar plexus. Some of you will connect with one or the other, or like me, both. Usually when I work with clients, I find that they'll connect either through their heart or through their solar plexus, but there are a couple like myself who will connect, again, via both, depending on the situation. For me, it's not both all the time. You are going to connect in your own way. Those are the most common. I've seen every once in a while somebody who connects through their third eye. Some of you may even connect through your root, depending on the situation and how open your other chakras are. But primarily the feeling or the clairsentient centers are the solar plexus and the heart. So, empaths are not just sympathetic. It goes beyond that. We will feel what you feel. We will know the pain as if it's our own. We will know the happiness as if it's our own. So it goes a little bit beyond just, oh, I understand that, or I feel what you're saying. It's a little bit deeper and sometimes more overwhelming than that, which is why I'm doing this video, or rather audio. So for those of you who say, oh, well, I kind of fit that, I'm not surprised. A lot of people who are in this field would like to say that being an empath is a rare and special gift. And I'm sorry if I offend any of my peers, but I don't agree with you. It is not rare. It is not special. Many people are empathic to varying degrees. In most of my classes, you know, I'll have people who say, well, am I psychic? Could I be psychic? Well, I believe everybody is psychic on some level. It's kind of like, you know, anybody can play on a piano, but not everybody's meant to be a concert pianist. So for some of you, you will have a less disruptive empathic ability, and for some of you, it will be very disruptive, and for a lot of you, it'll be somewhere in between. Now, there are people who are not connected to that gift. They're connected to other gifts, but that's not necessarily their gift. You know, there are some people who struggle to connect emotionally, and that's actually, I personally think, because they might be on hyperdrive in terms of empathic ability. So out of preservation, they shut it down. So you may know some of those people who seem very cold, very separated. They don't understand, you know, your pain. You'll tell them a story and you're like, you know, and you may have special words for them that I won't say on here. But they're not doing that on purpose. Sometimes if they were around a lot of pain when they were younger, they may have shut it down so that they're not experiencing it all the time with everyone. And it could be that they are on hyperdrive. I know I can tune into other people's emotions really, really well. I have an awful hard time tuning into my own. I have a very difficult time crying for myself, feeling my own anger, and that's something that I've worked very hard on over the years, because out of self-preservation, something had to give. And I could either keep helping the people around me, or just forget about my own feelings. And of course, that backfires. It's never a good technique. And it was something I certainly did not do consciously. It was something that was subconscious, but once I learned what was going on, I took steps to deal with it. And that's something that we will talk about on another day. So if you find that you are at this point, 10 minutes into this, thinking, I might be an empath, here's some clues that you are an empath. When you are around people, you will feel their physical pain as if it's your own. You will know when somebody is being emotionally dishonest with you. So they might be smiling and pretending to have a good time, but you know inside they're dying, or they're sad, or they're mad, or angry, or lost, or confused. You'll feel their emotions. When you go into crowded places, you might find yourself gravitating towards the babies and the pets, and that's because they are emotionally less complicated than adults. They are bursting with beautiful, wonderful chi, or life force energy, and the part of you that's being drained from the people around you are almost subconsciously using them as a shield. Not as a distraction, but as a shield, an actual energetic shield. Animals absorb energy very quickly and very easily, and so do babies. But their output of life force energy is huge. So again, if you find yourself gravitating towards the kids and the babies, you might be an empath. I feel like you might be an empath if, I forget the comedian who said that. You can put in the comments below, but my brain is going back to some comedy show that said that, but not an empath. Anyway, you might be an empath if you find yourself wanting to go on the errand runs. So say somebody runs out of something. Oh, could you get? Oh, you're the first one raising your hand. I'll go get it because you cannot wait to get out of there. You may find yourself hiding in the bathroom, or hiding in one of the bedrooms, or excusing yourself for extended periods of time. I have had to do this many times on many social occasions. All of those, all of the above. You may find that you wear hats, or you wear extra layers of clothing because it just gives one extra layer between you and the people around you. And, people may ask you, why are you so distant? Or on the other side, they may say, wow, you're a really good listener, or I feel so calm when I'm around you. Meanwhile, you're feeling everything. So this is part of them. You are inadvertently healing them, but unfortunately, empaths, if they're not trained to do Reiki or some other healing modality, they will oftentimes use their own energy and end up zapping themselves of energy and vitality in these public situations. So if you fit any of those categories, you're probably an empath. Now, some of you, again, will have varying degrees of this. You have to remember that most children born into this world are very, very sensitive. They are very empathic. And when I say that most babies are empaths, yes. There are a few that are not, and there's a variety of reasons for that. And again, we can talk about that in another time or in the comments. But there's a reason for that, and there's certain medical conditions that will also make it difficult for people to connect emotionally. And like I said before, for some of them, it's not a difficulty, it's that they've just shut it down because they're overwhelmed by the world around them. So, now, why are we talking about the holidays? Well, the holidays and this time of the year bring a lot of social gatherings. You're going to be out in public, whether it is, work parties or family gatherings, friend parties, gatherings, whatever you want to call it. And this is not, again, just traditional Western, Judeo-Christian holidays. This is any and all holiday gatherings. You can use these techniques year-round. I'm focusing on this because, well, we're coming up to Thanksgiving this week, and If you don't know me, I do have a Christian background, and so that's kind of where my mind goes. But you can use any of these techniques in any situation. And if you're one of my friends who are atheist or agnostic and you don't believe in any of this, guess what? You can still use these techniques in any social situation. Are you going to use all of them? Probably not. Use what resonates with you, and feel free to change it up and, try other techniques, if you are inspired. But these are just what works for me and what have worked for my clients in the past. And again, let me know in the comments below how it worked for you this season. So if you tried any of these and if it helped you out, please let me know. I love it. I love hearing your comments. So, the holidays. Let's talk about if you are with the family. And again, this could even be a big, Sunday dinner or any type of family gathering where at least one person there is going through some sort of loss, be it the loss of a job, the loss of a significant other, and it could be they're moving or they're upset over something. There's somebody in the family who always brings a load of drama, and you are probably dreading it because you're probably the one that they're gravitating to. I guarantee that you're going to be one of the first people, if not the first people, they sit down next to, they start talking to, because if you are an empath, they're going to be drawn to your energy automatically. And you're a good listener, and they know it, and they also know that you are not guarding your energy the way you should. So guard that energy, take care of it, love yourself, take care of yourself. And I will give you, all sorts of clues as we go on how to do that. So let's say you're sitting with a family member who is dealing with the, loss of a significant other. And I don't mean grieving. That is a different type of loss. I mean, they're going through a breakup, divorce, something else. First thing is don't engage. Don't engage in this kind of conversation. You guys are at a party, you're at a gathering, it should be upbeat. Yes, they are going through the stages of grief, and that is fine, but that is not the time or place to gather around this person and give them support. Also, ask yourself if the support you're giving is support or if it's enabling. They are learning a big life lesson, and this is the time to empower them, not cause them to spin around in their own whirlpool of victim space. And I don't mean to sound tough, but if you're an empath, you've got to be a little tough on who you allow your energy to go to. And it has to go to you first and foremost. So first of all, step number 1, before you even go into that space, surround yourself with beautiful white light. I also like to surround myself or picture myself in a quartz crystal ball. And if these are very high energy people or high drama people, you might want to picture yourself in a ball made of stainless steel or mirror or silver or something that reflects away the negative energy. Quartz will transmute it. Anything shiny will reflect it out to the universe, not back at them. You don't want to do that. That perpetuates the negative energy. You don't want to do that. So let's say they sit down and whoever this person is, and this goes with work party or friend party, you have somebody who is, they're broken up, they don't know what to do. First thing I'm going to tell you is this is not the time to give advice. First of all, advice is going to stop them from empowering themselves to make a decision. And decisions are difficult, and it's not your place. You can ask them, well, where do you see yourself in 5 years? This is a really powerful question. Have them, on a day where it's not the gathering, where it's not a party situation, say, one technique, let's meet for coffee and talk about this. So let's say they've already started talking and kind of can't stop it. Say, okay, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Is this person with you in your mind? And there's their answer. That's their answer. And either they move on and go through with that answer, or they decide they don't like that answer and they change it. But it's not for you to say you should. It's not for you to do that, because now you're re-engaging them and you're causing them to latch onto your energy. And if you're not careful, then not only are you enabling, but now you're getting into a power trip of, I'm helping this person. Well, no, actually you're not. You're taking away their options and their choices whenever you say you should. The other thing you want to do is keep the conversation with people who are going through high drama. And I'm going to say high drama because there's really no other word for it. Keep your conversations under a half hour. Put it early in the night and then move on to somebody else. This way you have time to kind of shake off their energy. If you are meeting with somebody and it's just a one-on-one situation, I recommend early in the day, 15 minutes to a half hour. This way you're being helpful, but you're also honoring your own boundaries. Do it before you have an appointment. This way you have to be somewhere else. And you can set the boundaries and say, I can only meet for such and such a time, and that's fine. But if you have trouble doing that, make sure you have another appointment lined up. This way you have no choice but to be at that other place on time and when you said you would be. Now, let's say you're just with somebody who is maybe they've lost their job or they're having trouble with work. Again, this is a time that you can help them empower themselves, not by saying, oh, well, you should go for this job or this job. Say, what do you see yourself doing? What makes you happy? What is your ideal job? And have them think about that. Then, when the moment is right, say, I'm going to go get a drink or I'm going to go get something to eat, and then go start engaging with somebody else. So these are, again, keep the conversation short, help them empower. Don't engage in the you should conversations, especially not at a family party or work or friends, because then you will be the first person they blame. And I bet some of you listening to this know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, you told me to do this. Well, you know what? Not your place to give that advice anyway. And even with my own clients, I do the empowering questions because it's not my job to disempower them or to take their choices away. It's my job, even as a reader, and I set that boundary with my guides that they're to help them clear their own path, not for me to say, well, you're going to do this, 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 and this. No, it's if you do this, this is what I see. And if you do that, this is what I see. Not you should. I try to keep the shoulds out as much as possible. So when you are with coworkers, I'm going to say tread very lightly here, friends. You really do not, even if you think you are friends with them, you have to work with them every day. These are people who can affect your livelihood, how you support yourself, the happiness quotient of when you walk into that building, how stressed or unstressed you are. And once you start allowing them to leech onto you, if they are energetic vampires, or if they're trying to take up too much of your time, involve you in their drama, well, guess what? That can turn around in a moment. In a hot moment, all of a sudden now you're blamed for more of their drama. So again, use the same techniques. Well, where do you see yourself in 5 years? How does that make you feel? And allow them to talk, but don't give them ideas, because again, that's not your job. Before you go into a space, if you are a psychic or medium like myself, some of you may be tempted to cleanse the space, either with sage or light, or however you cleanse the space. I'm telling you, it's not ethical. Don't cleanse the space before you've asked permission. You can ask permission and say, hey, I'm very energetically sensitive. Would you mind if I come in and sage the place? Now, if your friends know that you're into that, most likely they'll be like, wow, thanks. But if they're not, or you feel like you can't say anything, you know what? Don't. Surround yourself with light. Ask your angels and spirit guides to come around you. There's also some stones that you can keep with you in any of these situations. My favorite power combination for protection and cleansing is selenite, quartz, and black tourmaline. Black tourmaline absorbs other people's energy. The quartz transmutes the negative energy into positive, and the selenite will cleanse them both. And each one by themselves are okay, but together they are powerful. Keep them in a purse, pocket, someplace where it's close to you, but not by your heart. You don't want other people's negative energy sitting on your heart. Pocket or below is better. You can also, if it's your space, you can put a nice little cluster of them in the middle of a room. A lot of these pieces you can buy on eBay or Amazon or sometimes Etsy as well. But carrying these stones definitely helps. At least it's helped me, and it's helped a lot of my clients. I do sell protection pouches on my website, which is www.theindigopompion.com. Well, you see the channel. Look it up. I think there's even a link to my website down below. So, if you are not with other people, but you choose to go it alone, or maybe you are working overseas, or wherever you are, maybe you're not with your family on the holidays, that does not mean that you shouldn't take some time to protect yourself. Taking the time to surround yourself with light will prevent energies from consistently draining you, even when you're not around, because energy can travel. It doesn't matter where in the world you are. If you maybe just phoned somebody or Skyped somebody, guess what? You now have an energetic cord between them. So take the time to protect yourself before any, family conversations. You may even want to ask Archangel Michael to cut your cords between them. Now, that doesn't mean you're severing the relationship. You say, this is how I word it. You can word it, however works best for you. But I say, Archangel Michael, please cut any cords that are not meant to be with me so that new and healthier cords can grow. This is different from cord removal, and that is a subject for another day. Cord cutting is really good for people that you plan to stay connected with, and again, want those new, healthier cords to grow between you. But if you are alone, I also suggest take time to do something fun on the holidays. Go and do something that brings you joy, pleasure, contemplation, maybe meditate, or even group meditation. Do something that brings you joy, that will help you celebrate the holiday without retreating into yourself. Because a lot of times the holidays are very difficult, and especially if we are alone or away from those that we love, or if we are feeling lonely, you don't want to dwell on that. So find some way to celebrate it that, again, brings you joy, it's active, and maybe even something that brings you out of the house, or curl up with a great movie, or, take time to take care of yourself. So let's see. Public space. So some of these gatherings will be in private homes like we were talking about before. You can't cleanse beforehand without asking permission, and even after, you want to ask permission. Now, public spaces, very different. You can ask the angels to go ahead and clean the space before you, because it is a public space. It's open to people. Where a private home, that's somebody's personal dwelling, and they should be the ones in charge of how and when their energy is cleared. But an open public space, like malls, hospitals, nursing homes, restaurants, that's open to the public. Again, you should not be projecting your energy in there, but you can ask your guides or angels to go in ahead of you and cleanse the space. So anyway, my friends, I hope that this helped. I hope that, these tips and tools will help you get through the holidays and any sort of public gathering, so that you can go out and have fun and enjoy yourself. Oh, I almost forgot. One last thing. Close your chakras before you go in. If you don't know how, I just picture my chakras like little flowers. Or I have a friend who pictures them like fists. So an open fist is an open chakra, a closed fist is a closed chakra. You can picture yourself zippering it all up. I usually go from root to crown. And if you don't know what a chakra is, there's a website I like called crystallinks.com, and there is an index, but if you Google crystal links, chakras, it should bring you right to that page. Again, I love that page. It's very encyclopedic. It will tell you everything you need to know about chakras and more. In fact, I'm kind of surprised I did not bring that up first. So before you even surround yourself with light, close your chakras. Then surround yourself with light. So in summary, these are the steps. I'm going to give you the nutshell. Okay, here we go. First, cleanse your own energy. There are many meditations online that can help you do that. In fact, I have a couple up on this channel. 2, if you are very, very empathic, surround yourself with light or a sphere or both. I like to ask for my guardian angel or archangels to surround me and keep me safe and protected. You can close the chakras. Carry the stones selenite, quartz, and black tourmaline with you. Keep your conversations short. Allow yourself to go and spend time with the kids, with the animals, with the pets, and go out on the errands when people need something. Be the one who goes on those errands, because you know what? It's a good way to re-energize yourself and get away from any drama that might be happening. So those are my tips, those are my tools. If you enjoyed this video and want more, click subscribe and check out my other free online class videos in this. There's a playlist. I also have working with your spirit guide and working with your animal guides on my metaphysical school, which is on my website, theindigopompion.com. And you can check those out there. And be sure to tune in to the readings and meditations and all that fun stuff. Anyway, I love you, and may you have a blessed and wonderful holiday season. Bye.